Hi, my name is Alicia Marie. I am the founder and managing director of People Biz, Inc. We are a coaching and training organization that delivers measurable transformation through our programs for both personal and professional growth. Today I'm here with Paula Fracasso. She's a business coach and life coach with us, and we are going to demonstrate a coaching conversation. What I want for you to walk away with is what coaching is, how it works, and how to recognize the coach that's right for you. I will stop several times during the conversation and point out exactly what I'm doing. For example, I'm focusing the conversation, I'm getting her present to what's possible, I'm now removing barriers, now we're coming up with a plan, and then a recap. That would be the basic flow of a coaching conversation. So you will hear me doing all of those things. My intention for you is that you walk away with a greater understanding of what coaching is, and maybe you might even try coaching a few people in your life. Thank you again, Paula, for being willing to be our guinea pig.
Sure.
Can you think of a real issue, something that you would want to be coached on?
I have a book in me, at least one.
Do you?
I definitely know that I have a book to write.
Okay, so you'd like to talk about that?
I'd like to talk about that. I am writing now, so I've actually gotten to the point where I have dedicated time. I'm writing, I'm loving it. Mm-hmm. And I have 3, 4, 10 ideas, and I have concerns about all of them, and I really want, I want to talk about that.
Okay, and what would you like to walk away with from this conversation?
I would like to know which book I'm writing first.
That might be good.
Yes.
So you'd like to know which book you're writing first, and what would help? What do you think you're looking for? Are you looking for an insight or a plan or a brainstorm?
I actually think I'm looking for the story of that book.
Okay. How will you know we landed on the one you should start with first?
I know how it's going to end. I want to know how the book's going to end.
Okay, so you will have come to how that book will end?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else about how we'll know we're at the end of this conversation and you got what you wanted from this session?
When people ask me what my book is about, I'll be able to tell them. I'll be able to give them like, oh, it's a book about da-da-da-da-da-da, and they'll actually get it.
Okay.
It won't seem fuzzy or like
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about or I don't know what I'm writing yet.
Okay, so we would then come to that place where you can answer that question.
Yes.
What's my book about?
What's my book about?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So what I just did was focus the conversation. Too often I hear new coaches or inexperienced coaches just assume they understand and know what the client wants. And this is really easy. This can easily happen if you've known the client for a long time. You just jump in. But what I did was ask a few more questions about the issue and how we would know she actually got what she wanted from the session. That's called a drill down or focusing the conversation, and it's where most coaches kind of get off track right from the beginning. As a coach, what you want to ask yourself is, do I understand what the issue is, and do I know how they will know, and do I know what they want from this conversation, and how they know that they got that? One thing that Paula didn't do, because she's so clear, that a lot of clients do, is they say something about subjective, like, well, I'll feel better, or I'll feel like I have the right answer. And that's when you really want to keep digging. Well, what is that feeling? And how will we know that you arrived there? And what might get you there? And you want to keep digging. The drill down can last anywhere from a minute to 20 minutes. It depends on how clear that client is about the topic they want to get coaching on. Okay, so now we'll move to the next phase. After you focus the conversation, you then want to move the client to discover some possibilities, or in other words, their vision. Now, this is also where coaches will drop the ball. What they will start doing instead of going to vision is they will go straight to problem solving. That is not what coaching is. In fact, coaches don't believe in problems. We believe in opportunities, and we know that that opportunity exists right there, and there's just a simple barrier. There's just a dialogue. They're just a dialogue away from someone seeing what it is that will move them forward. And so we don't engage with people at the problem level. Even if the client thinks it's a problem, we don't engage at that level. So we always move to the future. Okay, so I'm going to do that now with Paula. Paula.
Yes.
Remember what our topic was. So we're putting a question on the table, just to recap, and that question is, what's my book about?
Yes, what's my book about?
Okay. I want you to imagine you can easily answer that question. What does that get you?
One is social status. That's actually fairly important to me.
Okay.
I like it when I like being popular, and I like being well thought of. And in my world, people who write books are well thought of.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
so it gets you that. What
Yeah.
else?
Focus for my actual writing. Like when I'm able to tell other people what my writing is about, it'll get me focused on what my writing is about.
Mm-hmm. What else would focus give you?
Discipline.
Okay.
I actually thought of a couple of things: commitment,
Uh-huh.
direction,
Okay.
maybe even a plan. Like if I have what the end product looks like, I'll be able to come up with the steps to get there.
Okay. And let's go a little bit further. You have the book.
Okay.
You now have the book.
Okay.
Maybe you're being interviewed on Oprah.
Okay.
Then what's possible?
One of the reasons I want to write a book is to model success for my clients.
Mm-hmm.
I know that. So for me, coaching is about living the life of your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wanted to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to live that dream.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually want to be known as a writer.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm sitting down with Oprah or whoever her successor is,
Mm-hmm.
and she says, I'd like to welcome da-da-da-da-da-da. I want that da-da-da-da-da to be life and business coach Paula Fracasso, who happened to write this best-selling book.
Okay.
I don't want to be known as author.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that for me is to demonstrate that we can have it all, that we can live our dreams, that we don't have to fit inside some kind of box that other
Yeah.
people say is what we're supposed to be as a profession, for example, that we
Yeah.
could do more than one thing.
Right, right. I'm now hearing a commitment to, like, something you're really wanting for others. Can you bottom line that for me?
I think it's creativity.
Mm.
I want people to know at some level we're all artists, and the work of art that we're creating is our whole life.
So in this next phase where I was working with Paula on her vision, I didn't stop until I saw a shift in how she was originally being about writing the book, and then I could see that she was present to a new possibility, or really present to what she wanted for other people, what she wanted for herself, and that's why I just kept going deeper. Now, if this would have been a client who thought they had a problem, it might have taken a little longer, and the shift would have been more obvious. So for example, and some of my questions would have been different. They would have been something like, if this wasn't an issue, how would you feel? Or if this wasn't an issue, what would you be able to do? Or if this wasn't an issue, what could you have? Another question I might ask if someone thinks they're in a problem is I might ask them, tell me what you think the long-term solution is. So I get them already thinking, it's not quite problem solving, I get them already thinking about what that long term might be. And then I talk to them, okay, if that actually happened, then what would be possible? And I wait for them to shift from problem mode to possibility. Let me think, there's probably one more point I want to make about that, is that if you aren't clear as a coach that the client is in some possibility, do not move forward. Sometimes you move back and forth to focusing the conversation and having a possibility conversation. What would be possible? What would be possible? You don't move to planning the action or coming up with some kind of plan until you've gotten those 2 steps down. And you can go back and forth. And this depends a lot on the client's emotional state and how long they've been stuck in this particular issue, okay? Paula is not that stuck here, and you're seeing that, okay. Okay, Paula, now I can tell that you're really present to what would be possible, not only if you could answer the question what your book is about, but if you had the book.
Yes.
And what you really want for people out of doing this, not just yourself. Yeah. What do you think has been stopping you?
Everything I ever learned about writing.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Like that there's one of the things I remember so vividly is learning how to write an outline.
Uh-huh.
And you couldn't have a 1 if you didn't have a 2, and you couldn't have an A if you didn't have a B, like for proper outline content. So I kind of feel like that was the first thing that came up was, what if I do it wrong? What if I write something bad?
What if you do it wrong?
I'll do nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like, all of my favorite writers had their first books rejected. I won't even know if I've got a good book until I get it out.
Yes.
So, okay.
All right. So tell me then, what's been keeping you in this place of not knowing?
What if I change my mind?
Okay. So what I've heard so far is, what if I change my mind? What if I get it wrong? Anything else?
What if people don't like it?
Yeah. What if? Anything else?
I'm hearing all of these standards and thinking about all my favorite authors and wondering if mine's going to be as good as that.
A lot of comparison happening.
Lots of comparison, yeah. That's what I'm doing. I'm comparing.
Uh-huh. What does staying stuck in this place of, I don't know, teasing you a little bit, what does staying stuck in this place get you?
Then I don't have to write the book.
Yeah.
And be responsible for the bigger life that I will be creating for myself.
Yeah.
And the exposure to criticism.
Clear.
Oh, yeah.
Clear.
Yeah. And all those people who will not like my book.
Yes. So you get to stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Anything else that you can see that this is getting you to be confused about what you're going to write about?
Well, it's funny how delighted I was when you were teasing me. Like, I think I feel safe. I think I feel safe when I pretend to not know.
Oh.
It's a very young feeling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we all learned that one. I don't know.
Yeah. Because then someone will do it for me if I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paula, how long have you been hanging out in this place?
32 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
What does that cost you?
The possibility that my life is, like all the things I want to do, the travel I want to experience, and the adventures I want to have, and the people I want to meet, and the conversations I want to be a part of, and the impact I want to have in the world. And who I want to be for my children, and the kind of example I want to set for them.
Yeah.
The impact I want to have on the world, I think, is the biggest thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it time?
Yeah.
Okay. What will you have to let go of?
That there's a right way to do it, and that somebody's watching.
Yeah.
That's it. It's the second one. It's not the right. It's like that somebody's watching and somebody cares, and there's going to be a grade at the end of the semester or something like that.
Okay. So now that you're clear about that, what do you think your first book's about?
Okay. My first book is about a world where everyone is internally directed.
What do you mean by that?
The world we live in now is directed by a cultural conversation that feeds us information and standards about who we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to work and what we're supposed to wear and what we're supposed to eat and how much money we're supposed to make and the kind of car we're supposed to drive and the kind of house we're supposed to live in.
Right.
And there will be a time when that's not the case. And it's interesting because people will be at the same time more connected than we are now. One of the reasons that this worldview works is because one of the things in this worldview is that we're supposed to be independent. Like, that's one of the cultural myths that's currently operative in this world.
Yes.
With our privacy fences and our cell phone machines and our garages with the doors that keep us away from our neighbors.
And our antidepressants.
And all of that, right? And the advertising about what you're supposed to wear. And so it's this self-perpetuating system.
Yes. Okay.
So the new world will have us be more related and more dependent upon each other. And at the same time, more self-directed. So who we're related to and how we're related to them and what we offer them will be of our own choosing. So there will no longer be this myth, really, about the way things ought to be.
Are you saying it's kind of like a utopian book?
Oh, yeah. It's a
Okay.
utopian book.
Like in that genre of
And
looking backward and 1984,
Yes.
except for that it
Yeah.
is this ideal world where,
Yeah.
yes, very clear to me. You might have just answered the question.
Yeah, I did.
Now what?
Well, there's still a story, but I think I could find it now.
Okay.
You know, there's some kind of storyline and character development
Sure.
and all of those things that But I think I can create that now.
Okay. All right. How about a few commitments?
Okay.
Where would you like to be with this by next month?
I'd like to have the outline of a story.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And anything else about where you'd like to be with this?
Yeah, I'd like to have a chapter that I'm willing to show somebody by the summertime, by June.
Okay. All right. And over this next month, what competency are you working on building?
Choosing the best option.
Okay. So just choosing.
Yes, just choosing. You know, I can create characters for days, and which one's going to fulfill my purpose.
So you're going to practice choosing each day.
Yes.
Did I hear that correctly?
I'm going to practice choosing each day.
Okay. Is this a good time to stop?
Yes, this is a great time to stop. Thank you.
Did you get what you wanted from this conversation?
I did.
Okay. And to recap, what was your big takeaway today?
I know what book I'm writing. I'm writing a utopian or dystopian novel about the next evolution of human relationships.
Wow. That's exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me point out some things that happened in that conversation, some coaching distinctions. You may have noticed I asked a lot of questions. The job of a coach is to be curious and to stay in an inquiry. We're asking ourselves as coaches, what does this person need to learn? We're asking ourselves, where is this person stuck or stopped? We're asking ourselves, what belief is in the way? So there's an inquiry happening internally for us as coaches, but then it's also happening externally as I'm speaking to the coachee, and in the form of my questions. And some mistakes that you see when a new coach or a coach who's not experienced at asking questions, some mistakes you will see is you will see leading questions. You'll see questions where I'm trying to get Paula to say something I want her to say. And so you might have also noticed that my questions were very, very open. And I didn't know what she was going to say. So she says something, I'm listening intently, and then from there, I form my next question. And it becomes very, very easy when you're curious and you give up having to know everything, because I had no idea where this conversation was going to go when we started, or what Paula was going to say, or even what issue she was going to come up with. So when you're looking at how to find a great coach or what makes a great coach, look for curiosity. Do you have a coach that's acting like a know-it-all, or is this person just curious about what you have to say and what you're up to? One of the other distinctions that you heard was that after I had her very present to what was possible or the vision, I started asking her questions that would have her see where she's stuck or what's in the way. When someone can clearly see what's possible, it becomes easy to identify the obstacles. People already know. And you'll notice that I go into the questioning with that assumption. Every once in a while from a client, you'll get an I don't know back. And all there is to do as a coach is to be silent and ask another question, because people will come up with something. They'll come up against it. Whatever it is, it will become apparent to them what's in their way and what their barriers are. A couple of other things is that I wasn't attached necessarily to how this went for Paula. My lack of attachment made it possible for me to just continue to dance with whatever her answers were. Is there anything you want to point out, Paula, about what I did as a coach?
I think the lack of attachment is key, because it provides some other things. So for example, you were able to be with me. I felt very supported. I felt very connected. And I didn't feel judged at all. I felt like there was space for me to say whatever I needed to say. So that goes back to your point about not knowing or not wanting a specific answer. I really felt the freedom to discover for myself what was there.
All right. Anything else?
No.
Okay. All right, and a couple of other points is I allowed her to recap what she would do. I did ask for some accountability. If we were in a coaching relationship where she was accountable to me, which she is in some ways, but in this particular instance, I would then ask her, what is there to be accountable for the next session? And that way we could stand on the shoulders of each conversation. And that's basically how coaching works. It's just an ongoing conversation for what's possible here. And anything you want to add to that?
No.
All right. Thank you for watching.